Are we ready for our next incredible speaker? Let's bring Josie up here. I am so excited to bring up this woman, and you can partly tell why, because she is a magical unicorn who's going to rock your world. Josie LoPorto Freeborn, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for including me. I'm so excited to be here. It's always so nice to speak to fellow like-minded individuals. And I'm telling you, Elizabeth, I think we are soul sisters because this has been the right place to be. It's so exciting to be here with you and everything you've created.
Oh, thank you. And I know it's activating so many women around the world. So before we jump in, let me introduce this amazing woman to you, everybody, because we're just going to like gush on each other and have a chat. So Josie's going to be teaching you how to crush limiting beliefs for good. She's the founder and CEO of Authentic and Empowered Mompreneur Academy. So if you're a mom out there, just put the word mom in the comments down below. Sales and marketing mindset coach, global transformational speaker, and most importantly, a wife and a mama. So this woman has accomplished some really cool things. She's the dynamic force behind Mompreneur, Empowerment and Holistic Sales Mastery. And she has over 30 years of experience in coaching and mentoring. Josie's now renowned for her ability to ignite confidence and sales success in women entrepreneurs, which is really cool because that's my area of love as well. From hosting transformational events to sharing stages with industry thought leaders, Josie is on a mission to empower mompreneurs worldwide. Like I said, put mom in the comments down below if you're a mom. So get ready to unlock your sales potential and thrive in business with Josie by your side. Josie, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's again, like I said, it's my honor. I'm so excited to speak to people on this such an important topic, crushing limiting beliefs. It's something we all have within us.
And we
And
need to do because the limiting beliefs just hold us back from, and that's what's really clear. The limiting beliefs hold us back. Now, you've been on this journey for decades. How did you get here? What brought you here?
well, it all started when I was 3 years old, you know. Literally, it really did. I watched my mother actually when I was 3 years old. She was a very inspiring woman who was an entrepreneur. And because she didn't have childcare, she took me and my sister with her to her classes where she actually taught other women how to care for themselves, self-care. And so I grew up with that
What
mentality.
upbringing.
Yeah, it was inspiring because I wanted to be the makeup lady, the skincare lady, the fashion lady. And I didn't realize then that that would be my career choice as a mom and an entrepreneur.
Very cool. And so many, I'm just so excited that your mom was an entrepreneur too, because mine was too. So there we go. We're just like aligning. And you've walked through life and all the things like you were set up to be an entrepreneur, but what are some things that have gotten in the way, limiting beliefs maybe that have gotten in your way that have really shaped what you offer now?
I think I own the PhD in limiting beliefs throughout life. I definitely have had my share believing I wasn't good enough, although I didn't recognize those limiting beliefs. As Clodagh mentioned, like there's that subconscious below us that makes us not realize when we're actually having these limiting beliefs. And the stories we tell ourselves are so important. And I was telling myself, I guess, that I didn't deserve a good relationship because I kept attracting poor choices, I guess we can say. Even in careers, I went from job to job to job because I had a limiting belief that, believe it or not, sales was yucky because one person said something to me, not because I wasn't good at it. I was told in high school that I could sell dirt to a farmer because I always come at it from a belief of filling a need. But took one person when I was 21 years old to crush that belief of confidence in myself. And it only had come back in the last 10 years.
Wow. How many of everybody watching, thank you for saying this, Josie, because if you're watching this and you know that somewhere in your life somebody said something to you and it made you play small or shrink back or stop yourself or fear or whatever it is, like how many of you have had somebody say something to you that limited you and stuck with you, like when we're kids or when we're young? Put that in the comments down below, everybody. If you've had somebody say something, just put the word limit in the comments down below that somebody has said something that made you. And I can see people saying like many times already, yes, I can see the comments happening. So put the word limit or me in the comments if people have said something to you. And Josie, you're going to take us through some crushing of our limiting beliefs, I feel like now would be a great time to just let you have the floor and jump into it. Are you all ready? Put yes in the comments if you're ready to have Josie crush your limiting beliefs, because we know where they come from, but how do we get through? How do we get out them? So can I give you the floor?
Sounds great.
Let's do
Thank
it.
you. Yeah. Woo. Wow, guys, in 5 minutes, the short time that we have here, I'm going to tell you there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to crushing limiting beliefs. And it starts with you, and it starts with understanding the stories you're telling yourself. And most of the time, we don't realize we're telling ourselves these negative stories because we're just going on living our life. We're living our life day by day, week by week, month by month, and in my case, year by year. We oftentimes step into a limiting belief unconsciously, and that affects us for so much of our lives. Think about a moment when maybe you were stuck in a segment of your life. And then when you step back to reflect, think about what you were telling yourself at that time. So, this is where crushing our limiting beliefs come from, or where it starts, is to understand where this limiting belief is coming from. And I'll give you an example. In my case, like I said, I've had many of them, but the most impactful one for me was I believed I was a dirty, sleazy salesperson because somebody told me in my career that I was great at from the time I was really little. I learned about entrepreneurship and sales. Heck, I worked at McDonald's selling, French fries with that. And then I moved into different career levels. But each time after the time I was 21 years old, told that I sounded like a salesperson when I was truly coming from my heart, that crushed me. And I went on for probably a good 18 years believing that my sales profession was dirty and sleazy, and that I ran away from telling people what I did for a living. So if somebody says, "What do you do?" instead of telling them, "I love my job, I'm a radio marketing professional," or "I love my job, I sell furniture," or "I sell shoes," instead, I would find something to finesse what it sounded like. I create amazing marketing and advertising strategies, because marketing and advertising was hot and sexy and sales was sleazy. So it took me years and years of trying to figure out where I belonged in my sales life. So I'm going to ask you to think of a moment when you've had a situation where you believed there was something holding you back. There was a belief that caused you to step out of something, in whether it be career or personal. I work with mompreneurs, and oftentimes they say, "I don't have a strength. I don't have any qualities. I've been at home. I've worked with my kids. I don't know what I could do." Well, it takes a lot of work. So crushing those limiting beliefs starts from within. And I help people understand what those limiting beliefs are, because even when I'm training and teaching people sales strategies in a holistic way, all about the mind, the body, the spirit, it's embodiment in you. We have to start with those limiting beliefs, because a limiting belief can debilitate you and cause you to become paralyzed in your whole life or aspects of your life. So first we need to look at things like, "I'm not good enough." Yes, Pat, I'm not good enough. A lot of people think that. Have you ever been told that maybe you didn't make a team in high school, or that you didn't make the choir? I didn't make the choir that I tried out for last fall, and I cried because I heard I'm not good enough. But really, I just wasn't what they were looking for. So we tell ourselves these stories. And at first, those stories might seem minor, but as we embody those stories and tell ourselves those stories more and more, that becomes pushed down deeper and deeper and deeper. And before you know it, we're actually living in those beliefs. So I'm going to invite you to write down what story you're telling yourself. If it's "I'm not good enough," why aren't you good enough? Let's dive deep into that. I work with individuals to help you, because sometimes you need a person guiding you to discover what your limiting beliefs are. So even if you're stuck and you don't know where you're at, this is an amazing exercise to do. And then I walk my listeners, my viewers, my clients, anybody who's in my community through an amazing activity. And in this brief time that I have left here, I want to share it with you very quickly. But there's a lot of work that we can work through, and I'll be there to hold your hand while you're doing it. But this activity had the most impact on myself and my daughter. And in about 1 minute, I'm going to share it with you very quickly here. So what you need to do is write down. Yes, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Write down what your beliefs are about a particular scenario. My daughter's case, she's 11 years old. She hated school. I hate school. For those of you who heard my talk, you heard that story. I hate school. I don't like school. I hate math. In my case, I wrote down, I suck as a mother because I can't fix my daughter's problems. But then we take those limiting beliefs that we've written down, we've taken it out of our minds, out of our soul, out of our heart on a piece of paper. And then we take that limiting belief and write on another piece of paper the opposite of that in a positive way. So if my daughter's saying, I don't like school, she could say school challenges me. That's positive. Or she can say, I love school. The other part of that is after you've done that and you've made the opposite in a positive way, you tear up and get rid of the negative ones. And this is what one of my clients calls the burning exercise. The burning activity is we actually take those papers, and if you have a bonfire, that's the best place to do it. But if you don't, we did it in a kitchen pot on the stove, and we set it on fire in a big pot and watched it burn. That act is so deeply therapeutic. After we did that, we took those ashes that were now, those words were nothing, and we blew them into the universe. We took them outside and just blew them away. And that other piece of paper that had all those new beliefs on, she read every day. She was able to get up and go back to school that day. And I'm very proud to say that through doing that activity a few more times, she's actually going to school every day and looks forward to it. This is something that you can use as a simple tool and a simple step for you to be able to get through those limiting beliefs. I think that's all I have for you in that 5 minutes.
This is so powerful. I think that there's so much power in taking the limiting belief and flipping it and saying, here's what we can do. Here's what I can believe. And I've heard this thing a lot over the past few years. We don't want to what's the word? We spiritual wash something, like we don't feel the full feelings, but then we've gone so far over the other side where it's like, I'm going to wallow in the negativity. And Josie, you're bringing us back to what is the opposite? And if we repeat that thing, and I do this sometimes, if I can't find something, I'll say, I know exactly where it is. Just like your daughter, just like, oh, what if I love school? Because then the subconscious mind starts to believe or it looks for ways. Well, how could I love school? How could I find my keys? Like whatever those things are. And you probably see this too. In my work with women, it's the limiting beliefs. It's not the lack of strategies, it's the limiting beliefs that hold all women back from really becoming who they're meant to be. So Josie, this is so important. Are you all loving this? What would you like to leave this wonderful group off with today? If they're thinking like, how do I crush my limiting beliefs? How do I move forward? What are some words of wisdom?
Ooh, there's a lot that we need to look into ourselves. Introspection. We need to look at what the story is we are telling ourselves. That's the first step. I had a colleague of mine who said to me, Josie, change the story you're telling yourself. So I'm going to ask all of you, what is the story you're telling yourself? And are you willing to change it?
Got that, everybody? Can somebody write that in the chat for us right now? What is the story you're telling yourself? And are you willing to change it? I feel like it just gives me goosebumps on anything that we're doing. And some women here are new on the path, and some women have been on this spiritual development path for a long time. We can still ask ourselves this question and dig deeper. What is the story I'm telling myself about anything? It's unlimited. When we crush limiting beliefs, we've truly become unlimited. So Josie, this is really powerful, really exciting. And I definitely want to have you back on my stage for longer to discuss all the things in depth and continue on. It's been such a joy to get to know you, and I can't wait for more. And thank you for being part of Women's Spirit Festival and offering so much to us.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's been an honor. I look forward to being back with you again.